All right, all right, all right. Here we are. You can't make this shit up. Your host, David Washington, yours truly, and Joel Hawksley. Welcome, Joel. Welcome, community, to another fascinating episode. We'll just jump right in. You'll have a strongman leader, and I'll just do what I want. And won't that be a lot simpler? That's what he's offering. That strongman model is what the Republican base is enthused about. And that's something that sets him, Trump, apart from every other Republican candidate. That was from MSNBC's Rachel Maddow. It's good to know that a Rhodes Scholar agrees with what we've been discussing for months. Let's go, Joel. Let's do this.
Well, Rachel Maddow's portrayal of Trump appeal as solely rooted in a strongman pitch may oversimplify the complexities and the political dynamics here. While it's important to be vigilant against the authoritarian tendencies, characterizing Trump's support solely as an endorsement of dictatorship overlooks the other factors driving this popularity. Trump's appeal may stem from his charisma, policy promises, or perceived commitment to particular issues rather than the sole identification of authoritarian orientation here. So, uh, yep, I'm sorry. You know, Rachel may want to know what the people down in the, every day trying to earn real money, not being flushed with cash with the book that she, like this new book deal she just came out with, where she's writing about, I'm reading the book prequel, An American Fight Against Fascism. So I've also been part of the crew that have helped her along. Thank you. I hope you take my money for your royalties and use it to find out what real people are looking for. Donald Trump appeals to people that are struggling. He kept all of his promises that he possibly could when he was in office. That's something that they stand 100% behind. The
Did not
Supreme
finish
Court that
that
you're
book.
arguing, the tax cuts and everything he did, he made promises. And he promise keeper is unusual in the White House. So you got a lot of people that see a very wealthy man as down to earth like them. And Rachel, they're looking at you and saying, you know what? She's blowing smoke because she's already got the money. She doesn't care about me. So you need to prove to them that you care about them. Because this is not about authoritarian. It's about somebody saying the things that they want to hear. They're not sitting at the kitchen table at Thanksgiving and just being a mouse and going, well, I'm the only one here that agrees with this. And you don't say anything. That's what that's strong words, David, but I love to be diverse in what I'm learning, and I read everything.
Mhm.
So can't wait to do a little write up on the book that she wrote. But I don't think this is. I think this was purely, it's way out there. I don't think you can put it all in one basket and say this is the truth.
Well, Trump did say that, on day one, he only needs one day to do what he needs to do as a dictator. However, beyond
He said
what
dictator.
project, yes, dictator,
He said
beyond,
dictator. I gotta
yeah, I
find that.
believe he did say dictator. Yeah. Beyond that, beyond Project 2025, uh, beyond the Federalist Society, beyond these think tanks that are preparing for another Republican presidency, it's the movement, not necessarily the man, but it's the movement that, as we were discussing earlier, more individuals that are from other demographics are responding to. It's that movement, and we'll say it's MAGA, the Make America Great Again movement, that is inspiring voters to look at their representatives, look at the people who have been talking to them about what they can do for them, and realizing that they have not kept their promises, or that they are lining their own pockets or the pockets of their donors, and that the average everyday man, the average everyday woman is being left behind. What Trump has created and fomented is this movement that goes beyond 4 years of a Trump or a Republican presidency. It's a it's a journey to, again, it's still from the actual saying itself, "Make America Great Again," to bring America back to the basics of our kitchen table issues, and to get behind someone like Trump is to get behind someone that his supporters see as one of them, as someone who is actually going up against the elites, someone who is not a politician, someone who is just like him, just like them, and will fight, 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 and not bound to the usual tenets of decency, appropriateness, tactfulness, or the rules of, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, well, look at it this way, David, and I kind of want to capitalize on the fact that th- there's a whole bunch of people in our country that feel that the government's out to get them, that the government's not on their side. They're not helping them. And every time the government goes after Trump, it feels personal to them. They
Exactly.
they own it.
Right.
They own it. So,
Yes.
every indictment, every time he's criticized, it just emboldens this feeling that, hey, my government's against me. And look, if they're against Donald Trump, as bad as they're going after Donald Trump, there's a problem in our country. And that's what drives these MAGA people. And you have to take a step back and go, but they're not for the people. Donald Trump's this, Donald Trump's that. Listen, the more the government goes after Donald Trump, whether it's truthful or not, you're just losing voters. You're losing them because people are starting to say, the government's not on my side. Pelosi is rich because she's been the Speaker of the House and she's done this. This person's on MSNBC. Yes, I agree with them, but guess what? At a point, I know that they make money.
Mhm.
And I can't afford to take my kids to Disney World. I can't afford to pay the gas that to get me back and forth from work. I can't get rental house, right? Here's the thing: I can't rent a house, but yet people are coming through the border and taking homes being helped subsidized by the government that shouldn't even be here. And that's also, where's the affordable housing? Where is that affordable housing for me when you're housing people that don't even belong here? So these are the things that make Trump stronger and stronger. And Democrats just keep building him. Like, there's nothing you can do right now that can hurt him. I mean, Clinton used to drive
I
me
agree.
crazy because
I
he used
agree.
to be Teflon.
Right. And I wish the Democrats keep Trump out of their mouths because, like you said, the more that Trump is put on the front pages, put on our television screens, on our devices, the more popular he becomes. And people, and you make a very good point, Joel, and I have to agree. They see that the government is coming after him, and they acknowledge that, they equate that
They
with their
empathize.
own, thank you, empathize. They empathize with that. They see it happening to them, whether it's taxes or a new law or a new regulation, or something to that effect. They see that and they get it. And everything that's happening with Trump embodies what people don't like about government. And I'm personally tired of hearing about, oh, a court may rule in this direction, or, more charges, or, are we going to see him in an orange jumpsuit?
David, it all started with his tax returns. Look, People do their taxes every year. And every year that they do their taxes, they think they're giving it to the government and the government's going to protect it. And yet, Donald Trump runs for president, and Democrats did everything in their power to get his tax returns, disseminated. It didn't matter what was in their tax returns. It was the fact that how hard they went after those tax returns just to make sure they were public. Do you think there was a single person that was MAGA that really gave a shit? What they did give a shit about was when it came out and how they got them. And that's just another thing that pissed them off. I mean, you can't when we talk about you can't make this shit up, these are the consequences that every time you go after this guy, you're basically handing him another victory. His victories, he loses all the time, but he wins every time he loses
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
it's like I can't, I feel it, and I'm not 100% supporter. I'm a Republican. I mean, I support my party, but there are days I go, you know what? I see what they see.
Hmm.
I see it because I look at the television. I go, man, why are they doing this again?
Right. As strategists, we get it. We get it. And we're seeing the fallout. And I want to say something specifically about what Maddow said. And this is a quote. She says, "What he is offering is what he both inherently offers, and now more and more explicitly offers, which is, if you pick me, that will be the end of politics, and you won't have to deal with politics anymore. You won't have to deal with contested elections. You won't have to deal with contests or divisions when it comes to power." And that is a significant message that Rachel's making. And again, eliminating an issue, a problem, a very contentious issue, and a problem that has divided America, eliminating it, removing it from the table. And if it's one less thing that Americans will have to worry about, they'll move along with their lives, enjoy their Super Bowls, their Pro Bowls, their World Series, their All Star games,
They're
their
Taylor
NBA
Swift.
championship, their exactly their Taylor Swift, and everything's hunky dory.
Look, she again, she oversimplifies it. Um,
Does she really?
that's what he's offering. I mean, I see what she's saying, but people aren't stupid. They do realize that at the end of the day, Donald Trump, there were a lot of things he wanted to do. He wanted to drain the swamp, but yet when he got up there, he didn't know how,
Mhm.
and he thought he did. So maybe the second time around, he knows what he's supposed to do. But look, you and I have had this conversation. Me, when I think of the swamp, I think of all of that stuff that's stuck in Washington D.C. that doesn't need to be there. Move the energy department out of Washington D.C. They don't need to be there. They need to be where energy is. You need to
And
move those departments out so that they have to work in areas that of the country, and that diversifies that takes that economic weight away from DC and lets DC become a city that it really needs to be and flourish.
what I think Rachel is saying, and to go even further than what you're saying, and what the Project 2025 is wanting to do, and what many people in conservative circles are planning to do and wanting to do, is eliminate the administrative state. We have arguments in front of the Supreme Court recently that will question the Chevron doctrine I'm talking about, that questions the legitimacy of administrative law judges in the administrative state. When she talks about not having to deal with politics anymore, I take that further and saying not having to deal with the administrative state anymore. And therefore, when you don't have the administrative law judges, when you don't have these layers of regulation and government and advisors and civil service, you don't have government at all. And that's what he's offering. That's what
Uh,
Project 2025 is offering.
a government, David, a government small enough to drown in a bathtub.
Thank you, Grover Norquist.
Your favorite saying. David, I appreciate this topic, and Rachel is, I mean, she's a very smart woman. She offers a lot. I hope to. I really am glad to be reading her book. I mean, it was just it's funny that she came up because it was the very next thing that's coming up on my reading list.
There you go.
Um,
We'll have to
Again,
revisit this, Joel. Once you
you
finish the book.
absolutely, because you guys out there, please realize that we are your political innovators. We are out there doing the things. We're reading the things that we should be reading. We're not stuck in our little cubicles and and just looking at things from one perspective. We're looking from every direction. That's why we do the job we do. And we love to hear from you. We want to hear your comments. We want you to tell us when we're right or wrong, or challenge us. But don't use names calling, because guess what? That just defeats your purpose. Because come to with facts, not feelings.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to read what you write, and I'm going to see what the facts are there, and you may be able to change my mind. David's done it on some things, and hopefully I've influenced him on some others. But we can't do
Yes,
our job. We can't have the conversation with you until you let us know what we're doing, or say, just reach out, get our newsletter, see what we're doing, and be part of a big something bigger than yourself.
indeed. Engage yourself in the civic process. Engage in civic engagement and voting and registering and learning what your local leaders are doing and saying. Those who engage in their local politics are likely to benefit from their local politics. So please start here with us. Have a conversation with us. Comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say. We'll love to continue that communication with you. We're growing our community. So please like, share, hit the notification button on all of our podcasts. The Morning Constitution with Joel, the David Washington Show with myself. You Can't Make This Shit Up, our flagship podcast. And then, of course, every Monday, Campaign Insight, Political Innuendo, and the Secret Sauce to Winning Campaigns on Countertop Politics. Please let us know what you think. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Bring your facts, not your feelings. We are your political innovators here at the J.M. Washington Network. We'll see you the next time.